7:13, everybody, and according to the Center for Migrant Studies, an estimated 4.7 million households in the U.S. are defined as mixed status, meaning they house at least one undocumented resident and at least one citizen or legal resident.
And for many, they are living with the threat of deportation. Listen.
But Anna's life in this political climate is dangerously different. And she tells us she lives in constant fear of the incoming administration's promise of mass deportations.
We will begin the largest deportation operation in American history.
Deportations which threaten to tear apart her mixed status family.
With the little one, I don't know if I'm going to have a say to take him with me or if he will have to stay behind.
Does that scare you?
That's awesome. So this family's concerns are real and they are not alone. PIX11's Jay Dow joins us this morning to share more of this story, which will be featured on his show, Community Closeup with Jay Dow. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning. Good to be back.
You're doing some awesome work getting to these families, getting to the heart of the issues here. So tell us how they're living in fear and what they expect to happen in January.
Well, you know, we're all out here covering this crisis every single day, and something that occurred to me is over the last couple of years there are so many families who are having children while they're here. Those children are U.S. citizens. They are listening to what's happening in this country. They hear President-elect Trump talking about mass deportations, and they're faced with this between a rock and a hard place scenario. Do they leave their child here to pursue the American dream that they came here for? That's unthinkable for so many families. Or do they all go back to the country that they fled from in many circumstances? Will they be forced to go back together or leave someone behind? So we profiled this one mother who's in this situation, and we're showing you a side of the journey from start to finish that we really haven't covered this in depth during our daily reporting, and we really wanted to see how it all plays out.
I mean, we saw this once before with family separation at the border, right? And so what are local leaders, Jay, saying about this and the potential of this happening?
Well, local leaders, along with federal officials, are saying that, you know what? It's likely that if you are law-abiding, you have nothing to worry about. They're focused on criminals, and whether you are a migrant or a U.S. citizen, you are then going to be, you know, under the scrutiny of law enforcement. It stands to reason that Anna has nothing to worry about, but she's still very worried.
Yeah.
Can you talk about some of the resources that these families have in case anyone's watching and say, wait a minute, what can I do?
Well, we reached out to the New York Immigration Coalition and also the New York Legal Assistance Fund. The latter is providing a team of attorneys to work on these cases, tens of thousands of active cases, some of them in the final stages of hearing from a judge on whether or not they need to be, you know, packing up and being ready to be sent back to where, you know, the country of their origin. There are so many unanswered questions at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. And that's just one
snapshot
of thousands of snapshots, not only locally, but around the country. The show is tonight, right?
5:30 p.m. today. As usual, we're trying to, you know, put together a group of stories that appeals regardless of where you live. A little bit of everything. You know, we're talking about screen time for toddlers, something that we can all relate to. And of course, this story, this very serious story about this migrant mother and the threat of mass deportation. And also, you know, it's the holidays, so we have a super uplifting story about a pediatric cancer patient going to see a holiday lights display on Staten Island.
Amazing.
Great story. Something for everyone. We're really looking forward to it.
All right, coming up at 8 o'clock, we are going to talk about that screen time, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, we got a lot of thoughts on that
all
one.
three of us are dealing with this in one way or another, right? Yes.
But Bluey's fine for a long period of time,
and
right?
so is
Peppa Pig.
Is Elmo okay too?
Exactly. The conversation continues. Community Close-Up with Jay Dow. Be sure to tune in today, 5:30 p.m. right here on PIX11.